In the year of our Lord 2025, the New York Knickerbockers succeeded in defeating the dreaded Indiana Pacers in Indiana's shit box of an arena, the field house or whatever the fuck that is. Fuck them. The Knicks won. I'm in a good mood. Staches Glasses is back in effect. Justin Waters, my cohort, ready to talk hoops as he usually is. Jay Watts, how you doing, man?
I'm doing fine. You're coming in extremely hot. You're like Merlin,
Fire,
just
fire.
Bermuda pants on, coming in a buck 40 in a 25 zone.
Put my
I like
gasoline
it.
boots on and walk through hell.
Yeah. Hey,
I'm
you
all
guys,
about it.
Knicks showed heart today because they could have, put that white flag up. So that was cool to see that, like, and that's what I believed in them is that that these dudes are tough dudes. I didn't feel like they're gonna give up. So that was good to see tonight because that would have been that'd have been rough. That'd
Yeah,
have been
I
rough.
so for every game in this series, I've been boisterous, I've been loud, I've been yelling at my TV, been talking shit, I've been screaming at the Knicks like they could hear me. And what does that result in? Nothing but an 0-2 deficit in the series. So this game, I decided, you know what? I'm going to play it really conservative. Just gonna chill. I'm gonna watch. I'm not gonna freak out. I'm not gonna let my emotions take over me. I'm just gonna do my thing and watch the game. And I shit you not, it was so damn difficult to be able to do that when they were 20 points down.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
was not happy, not happy. And, and then all of a sudden they go on a little run towards the end of the first half, and then the second half, it's just the defensive Nick team that
Yeah.
has showed up here and there throughout the season and in the playoffs. They were basically on for the entire second half, and it was phenomenal. We had the text chain going, and I was like, lock the fuck in. And immediately afterwards, I was like, W, W.
W.
Oh, yeah. I
Well, you
was,
used the bench tonight. You got some bench action.
dude, dude, yeah.
Um, I
I
mean,
was tripping out
finally.
because we had DeLon Wright in there.
Yeah.
We had
Yeah.
Landry Shamet getting
Damn it.
minutes.
Yeah. Yeah.
We went nine deep today. We never go nine deep, seven
And
at
that's why
most.
and that's why we haven't been this far at this point before, I feel, is that he's got to you got to. We're
No,
the place that you were in the Eastern Conference Finals, you're in game 3. We got to I mean, you got to use some of these guys off the bench to get you some quality 5-minute spurts, 6, 7-minute spurts. And that was a big thing today. That really helped.
that
See
did it.
how that moves going
That
forward.
did help.
I did get a little frustrated. I'm watching. I'm like, Brunson's got 5. He took him out. We hit the 4-minute mark, and I was like, put him in. Why are we waiting? You guys were up 4, I think, at that point. Could have went up 6, but they called travel on cat. I didn't agree with that. Um, but I
Yeah,
thought like,
yeah. No, I didn't agree with it either. He didn't land on the travel foot yet before he
yeah,
put
he
up the
did that
shot.
super slow European step and stopped, which I thought was fine. But I'm like,
Yeah,
why aren't we putting in Brunson at the 4-minute mark as opposed to, I think it was like under 2 or right at 2. I know he had 5 fouls, but you're down 0-2. You're in the enemy's house. I kind of would have wanted to. I mean, it worked out for him in the end, but I
yeah.
kind of would have wanted the urgency of like, get Brunson back in the game.
I hear that, but here's been one of my biggest frustrations with the Knicks this season is that they go Brunson ball for the last 5 minutes of every game, like 100% of the time, and I just don't think they're utilizing the
Yeah,
tools that they have when they do that. Brunson is it's a 24-second shot clock. Brunson's dribbling it for 20 of those seconds. And
yeah,
when you got guys like Mikal Bridges, Carl Anthony Towns, they're like good offensive players there ready to do their thing, and we're just depending on Brunson. And this is not a shot at Brunson by any means.
no,
I
yeah,
I
that's a
just I it,
damn it.
obviously he's a really good clutch player, the Kia Clutch Player of the Year award, whatever the fuck that stupid nonsense is. But when you have that many offensive weapons, we shouldn't have to wear out our best player every single
Yeah,
time down the court. And they didn't do
yeah.
that today. They didn't do
Yeah.
that. They said, okay, Brunson's in foul trouble. Let's take him out. Let's save him for the very, very crucial minutes and start utilizing those other tools so that we could get some buckets. And guess what? They did. Karl
Yeah.
Anthony Towns had, Jesus, how many points in the 20 something in the second half? I don't
Yeah.
even know.
My thing is, do you think as a Knicks fan? Because I
Mhm.
agree with what I like that they had to move the ball around, and like you're saying that it opens it up. It's hard because you're like you have arguably the best closer, the most clutch guy in the game. So like, how do you easily or how do you maneuver that and leverage that as a coach, as a whatever, so your team does better, like you said. And then today was obviously Cat went into one of these modes where he really shows his
Mhm.
talent. But me watching it, I'm like, to be honest, I don't think Cat has another game like that. It takes two or three, like he's got to go through another one or two games. Maybe that third or fourth game, you might get this. My thing is that if that was a little more consistent,
That's it.
that urgency part, like if that's a little bit more consistent, then I feel like because I do think the Pacers are deeper, but I feel like
Yeah.
your group, no, but I feel like your group, if Cat is playing at 20 and 10, 25 and 10, you guys are hard to beat. But I want to see that in this round of like that balance where he's consistent on that. That would be my
Yeah. And
one thing about the Knicks.
I think, and I agree with you there, it's just inconsistencies on the offensive end and I don't want to say effort, but just the intensity that he
Oh,
has from
yeah,
game to
Cat's a
game
little.
is like up and down.
He's a meme. Yeah, he's a meme. I don't know.
Yeah.
He's got to bust out of that. I need a
Like
little more New York ruggedness.
he needs to be like big bodega cat instead of, and after
Oh
all
my,
that, oh my God. Like we can't have that cat in the playoffs. We
yeah,
need big bodega cat. And
yeah,
so and I looked it up. He had 20 of his 24 points in the fourth quarter.
yeah. That's big.
That's
I mean, dude.
monstrous. And
Yeah,
that's
see,
just the
that's the
thing too. Like we're talking
yeah,
about these inconsistencies. Like, a
four
player that
points.
talented
Yeah,
has to be able to do that from game to game. Like if this
yes,
team is going to be a title contender, Cat has to be
yeah,
able to do that every 48 minutes that is
yeah,
put on the clock. And he can't just be like, okay, well, I'm just going to score 4 points, three quarters, and
yeah.
then we'll be okay. No, like
He's got to be
obviously
aggressive.
he has to be aggressive. Obviously,
Got
very
to.
happy with the outcome today. Okay,
Yeah, today he
I'm
was
good with it.
aggressive. Yeah,
I'm good with it. But I am not happy with the inconsistency. I'm not happy with the stupid fouls 40 feet from the basket. I'm
yeah,
not happy about the complaining every time he may or may not have gotten fouled. He's spending more
yeah,
time complaining than he is getting back on defense.
yeah,
I'm not happy with the 40-foot three-pointers. Like he does not need to take those. And I don't
yeah.
give a shit
That's
what
yeah,
anybody says about, but he's
yeah,
hit those before. Guess what?
yeah,
I've hit a shot from three-quarters of the court away. That doesn't mean I'm going to take it
yeah.
every single time down the court. Like it's a low
Wide
percentage shot.
open. Air's fiery.
Raindrop, right? Like no,
Rain
dude.
dance. Yeah,
You are
I'm with you.
one of the biggest dudes on the court, and you have great footwork
Yeah,
offensively anyway. And you need to get
yeah,
like spot up for three, sure. Pull up to the arc and shoot your shot, but like
yeah.
also get down on the block and bust these guys up and
Yes.
get deuces.
Get to the free throw line. Get guys
Yeah,
in foul
he's a
trouble.
great free throw
That's the whole
shooter
thing. Yeah,
too.
yeah,
And the fact that he doesn't do that and he like just settles, like all these guys settle for 30
yeah,
footers. It boggles my mind, man.
yeah,
I don't get it. Like, oh, like not to bring up the whole mid-range thing again, but these guys, like, sure, statistically, you will score more points shooting threes than you will twos,
yeah,
but there's a different edge to it where if you're on a run and you have two, three, four consecutive 2-point shots, you are
yeah,
fucking with the other team's mentality to where they can't shoot at all and they're
yeah,
broken down. And you can
yeah.
go on a momentous run. Like that's the other fact of it. Like you can't calculate that on a spreadsheet.
No,
If you know ball, you know
yeah,
that kind of shit matters. But
yeah.
people are just settling for the statistic nerds work, and I just can't stand it.
I like Pascal Siakam actually has an inside the 3-point game. Yeah, I
Yeah.
see a couple of times he goes to a patented kind of turn. If he's got a little guy, he puts his back to the basket, takes a couple steps right over the right shoulder, bam,
Mm-hmm.
hits that glass. That shit has been automatic, and that's like we were talking about a little bit of that. And I mean, from Cat, I want more obviously to the basket because he's a little bit bigger body. But that is he's effective. Pascal's been over here in that 15, 17 foot range. Just
Yeah, and he's got
like
a pretty little fall away too
yeah,
that he hits at a good clip. Like that kind
yeah,
of shot makes sense. Like as a fan, as a Knicks fan, when I see Siakam drain a couple of those in a row, I'm like, oh shit, we're in trouble.
yeah,
But if I see Pascal Siakam hit one out of the next four threes, I'm like, whatever. Like I'm not
yeah,
even tripping.
yeah.
So, but like,
It's gonna be interesting. They tie this puppy up
oh
coming
dude,
back to the Garden. That's gonna be. You guys win game 4.
okay.
Game 5 might. If you guys win game 5, it might be a state of emergency in Manhattan. I mean, if you get into the finals, for sure, it's a state of emergency in Manhattan.
I mean
All of it's gonna be shut the fuck down. Nobody's gonna be able to get
they
in.
shut down downtown just with a second round win.
Bro, they're so hungry for just some. I think getting to the finals would be like, yeah, they'd want to win it, but getting to the finals, being the top of the East is like I would be proud of that. You know,
Oh
if
yeah,
you got to the finals and you lost, I hate people who are like, oh, it's Doomsday. He didn't win it all. You ain't shit. I fucking hate these people because this is a prime example. Would be like New York City. Is like you guys have been evading it for so many years, and yeah, you might not have you got to the top of the mountain, but like you were 4 seconds behind the guy who got to the top of the mountain. Like, fuck, I wasn't first. But like, god damn it, I still got the fuck here. We went to a 7 game. Whatever it is. I just feel like it's kind of undervalued if you don't win a tournament, if you don't win at all. But if you get to the chip, you should be celebrated. I feel. I don't know what these dudes.
I think that speaks levels to a team when they're able to get to the finals and they're able to get to the Eastern Conference
Hell
Finals.
yeah.
Like I think that speaks volumes. I mean, I was praising these Knicks last year when they got eliminated in the second round after seven
Yeah, they were
games
hurt
against
too.
Indiana,
And
and they
they
were
were the
hurt, and
walking wounded. Yeah.
they gutted it out for 7 games, and I was applauding, you know.
Yeah, you can hold your
But
head high as a fan for sure.
you know what's funny though, ironically, is that this year is if they lost this game, I would have been like, you fucking guys, you fucking
Yeah.
guys. That I would have been
Well, that
pissed.
first game, bro, that I mean, I mean, you got off the mat. They definitely got off the mat tonight and showed. But like that first game was, they always say like, oh, I'm like both kind of like playing the fence. I think it depends on the team, but I think the Knicks are a team that would be able to get up from it. But like a lot of
They
teams
are.
who got to lose like that, that's rough for a first game when you're like, bro, we should have had this in the bank. God damn it. But it is so early enough that it's like we could recorrect this shit at the same time. And I feel like now that tank is much, they're like, oh, we could fucking do this now. They know that
Yeah,
tonight was
yeah.
a big win too. 20 down, coming back. They got their comeback. Like, hey, we could fight. We're never out of this either, regardless. So game 4, I'm looking forward to that going tied up and then
Dude,
going to game 5. That's going to be,
and
as a basketball fan,
let's talk real quick about game one because that was some of the worst basketball I've seen the Knicks play this year. And the reason I say that is because they were making mistakes in the most fundamental ways possible. You got to hit your free throws
yeah.
down the line, and they were
Yes.
missing
Oh
them
my God.
like crazy. Even Brunson,
Yep.
who is
Mhm.
Mr. Clutch, like could not hit his free throws towards the end of the game. Defensively, they were lost. Like they weren't rotating on defense. They weren't closing out on shots quick enough. Like guys were slipping on themselves and like falling backwards
Yeah.
and trying to recover. Like it was disgusting. Like that's not the kind of Knicks basketball that they're capable of. But they sometimes put themselves down to that level inexplicably. Like maybe they're tired. I don't know, but it's awful. It's awful, and they have nobody to blame for their game one loss other than game two. Also,
But then you look at the other side is like these jerks have pulled off the 3 out of the 1,400 games or some crap in these playoffs where they've came back under or 7+ over in the last minute. Then it's also kind of like a little bit of that where now this is they're not if they ended up winning it all, I would buy into this like fate team kind of stuff because then it would be like, okay, bro, they're still doing this random crazy shit and winning. But to their credit, some of that stuff what they've been doing has been it's like how do you explain it? It's like it's like that faction of confidence that a coach can't give you. Like nobody can give you but like the basketball gods, and they seem to be the Pacers having a little bit of that right now. But like as a fan, be like seeing how it went down. I know you're a Knicks fan, so I was like, this is Tyree. No sweat, my pet. He's a fucking asshole. But Urkel Halliburton hitting that and then celebrating like that as a basketball. Now, it wasn't the perfect send off because it wasn't a three. He did double dribble and
He
touch the ball with
did.
two hands. I saw that too. So, like, it was as a basketball fan, you're like, damn, it was so close to one of those, like, wow. It was still a wow game. But, and then when he did the choke sign, I was thinking, like, sometimes he could be a little cornball, but
He is
that was kind
an
of cool.
absolute corn. I don't give
I
a
knew
fuck
it.
if he pulled the
Yeah, no,
choke sign out.
I know
Like
you guy.
he did the
I
whole
don't
choke
argue.
sign. He did the whole choke sign and for like
He
looked for
did.
a high five from Reggie Miller. Like, hey Reggie, look what I'm doing. Look what I'm doing. I'm doing it just
Yeah.
like you did.
Yeah.
Like, okay, calm down there, buddy. Like, let's
You
just
calm
pull the
down.
brakes. And another thing, not basketball related, but Tyrese Halliburton. Pick a voice, dude. Pick a voice.
Dude, that's a real thing.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
a real
Sometimes he's
that's
like,
a real thing.
yeah, we were playing really good against the Knicks. And then all of a sudden I started talking like this and Carl Anthony Towns, oh my God.
He's
You know,
he did
like,
that and he did that on Pat McAfee's show. And even Pat McAfee
yeah.
was like, bro, he's like, wait a minute, your voice just changed. And he was like, yeah, it does that sometimes. Like
Oh
that's
my God.
crazy too. That's some stupid human tricks on Dave Letterman used to have that on the show. Stupid human tricks.
Super.
That's one of them. No,
Let's get the.
stupid human tricks.
Yes, I know. Like, I
Oh,
remember that shit.
I thought you said super.
No, stupid.
No, yeah, yeah.
When it comes to Tyrese Halliburton, I am not saying anything super. It's always stupid. Yeah,
Yeah,
Urkel.
he's yeah,
I can't stand his ass. I don't like his form. I don't like his trash talk. I
true,
don't
yeah.
like his voices, plural. Like I don't like
Yeah.
him. I hate this
Bro.
man.
Yeah, his jump shot
Oh God,
mechanics
it's
are
disgusting.
it is. That's where the Urkel meme came. I guess it does look like a just get it out of my hands. Get it out of here.
Yeah, let me just chuck this thing like a shot put, and miraculously it goes in sometimes. Okay.
Yahtzee.
um. So at this point, Knicks in six, or what are we thinking?
Ooh. I think it's going seven. If they win
I think
if
it's a
they
good. Yeah,
I think it's going, and I think like it's going to be bananas because Game Sevens,
in New
obviously
York.
is, yeah, anything goes down. Like this could be, yeah, I think it's going to be one of those like holy shit, back to back. Keep fighters who are just fighting, punch each other at the same time, see who gets up. I'm hoping as a fan, it's one of those. I know for you, it's probably going to be stressful as shit because Game Sevens for your team is like, yeah, I wouldn't want to. Yeah, that's hard to do. Because sometimes I'm in the same thing, like, fuck, we're gonna just either do some of our typical Lakers shit we do when we lose, and then you're
Oh
like,
boy.
and then after you're like, damn it, bro. Yeah, it's hard. I don't want, I know how that is. So game seven though, but I don't know who. I really think it could be anybody. There's like positives for both, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
But
I
I do like the Knicks showing a little more bench. If they do get even if they got like, I wouldn't put Payne in. I'd let Shamet get a run. At least he could shoot the ball. He doesn't have to look like he's in the East River when he's shooting. And uh and then I would even throw right in there, give them some burn, let these young legs get out there and give you some time. But so far so good. It's looking interesting. It's like a little telenovela. Nuevo New
well,
York, first.
he might be. I what's funny is that Cat is obviously Dominican, and he gave a shout out to Dominican mothers for Dominican Mother's Day.
I heard
And
that.
he lost his mother
His mom, yeah.
to COVID, I believe. a few years
Yeah.
ago. So it was really cool to hear him talk about that. You know, I talk a lot of shit about Carl Anthony Towns, but I'm not going to talk shit about, you know, his love for his mom and how she supported
No, yeah,
him
for
getting to
sure.
where he is.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
much love to that guy for what he does. But stop shooting 30-foot
I did hear
threes.
that. Yeah. Come on,
Stop
cat.
shooting. Yeah, seriously.
Stay alley cat in the paint, man. He needs to be an alley cat in the paint.
Alley cat in the
Just
paint. I like that.
yeah, man. A
I
little bit
like that.
more grime, you know? Not
Yeah, dude.
I don't need, Fifth Avenue 3-pointer or half court or this is crazy or whatever his crazy quotes are. I need him free throw line down. And it'll open up everything else anyway. I mean, if he's establishing himself in the paint and the post and he's aggressive and then that's when that step back opens up. And then you even see the ball go in a couple times, go to the free throw line, always helps.
Yeah. Let's see. Who else played this game? Oh, let me tell you, Jalen Brunson played like shit. He did.
What was the final numbers?
He had 23 points, but he was 6 of 18 from the field, 1 of 5 from 3, and he was a minus
Oh.
6 on the court. So that's
Any
not.
assists? How many assists did he have?
He had 0. No, sorry, 1.
Oh,
But he was 10 of 10 from the line. So what I was saying about hitting your free throws down in clutch time,
yeah.
he made sure he hit them all
Where
throughout the entire game.
weren't the Knicks like 15 to 16 or something in the fourth? Or
In the fourth, I don't know.
they
I
shot
don't have that stat.
well. They hit their free throws. They shot well though. It's always going back to the basics, right? Help defense, hitting free throws,
Yeah,
the
and
little
that, and
the
that's
little
that's
things.
been their Achilles heel in this series is the help defense. Cat is lost on a switch. Like he'll play, but like he when he's supposed to drop back, he switches. When he's supposed to switch, he drops back. And it's like, what are you doing, man? Like I need you to not do this. Like, come on.
Yeah, should
But hey,
know.
it's it's
Two
still a good
one.
day because the Knicks won. I'm in a good mood, and my son is leaving with his girlfriend, and they're gonna come over here and say hello. Cat.
Whoa. What's up, man? Congrats.
Oh yeah, he's graduating from high school in
Yeah, he's going to Cal State
less
Fullerton, right?
less than 2 weeks. Yeah, he's going to Cal State Fullerton, and he's
Yeah.
flexing in my
Oh
back.
wow. Yeah. Dang, son.
Oh
That's
my
that pure
goodness!
protein. That's all natural too. World. That's
Wow,
natural. If you want to see
wow.
and you want to get big, talk to Eric's son, Alex. He'll give you the whole rundown. Only for $29.99 a month.
He weighs a buck 40 soaking. So let's see.
But he's super cut, right?
Sure,
Oh, he left. He left.
he did leave.
His lady likes it. She's like, "That's right, honey."
I don't even want to know. I didn't even. You know, what's funny is they my wife and I were having lunch down in downtown over here, and Alex, my son, came to meet us, and then his girlfriend came and met us a short while later, and she has her driver's permit.
Oh,
And so I said, "What are you guys doing?" They're like,
touche.
"Oh, we're gonna go back to the house with you guys." I said, "Okay." So I gave the keys to his girlfriend. I said, "Drive us home." Drive us
Wow.
home. I gave her the keys to my BMW, and I said, "Don't scratch." this,
Oh,
this poor girl was so nervous. Her boyfriend's dad was saying, "Here's my car. Drive us home. Be careful."
you guys
I
are
didn't really
going
say.
20 miles an hour the whole time.
I didn't really say don't scratch it, but she did. She did a really good job, and I actually told her that when she takes her driver's test, she could use my car. And
Whoa, look at you. Nice.
yeah, I'm a good guy. I'm a
Hey. I
great
mean,
guy.
yeah, see now I have a question for you.
Mm.
Hypothetically speaking,
Okay.
if if these roles were reversed and you had a daughter and that was your daughter's boyfriend, are you gonna be Captain Generous? Or are you gonna be like, yeah, son, you're just eyeballing him the whole time in the rear view. Yo, get your hands where I can see him.
I would
It's gonna
fuck
be a
with.
whole
I
it'll be a
would
whole new
fuck with him just for fun, but I wouldn't
that's
be one of these
oh yeah,
typical
yeah. Trying
Hispanic
to
dads that's like, "Stay away from my daughter, fool." Like I'm not gonna. I wouldn't be like that. Like,
Hey.
I
Okay.
mean,
All
I
right.
say that, but I don't have any daughters. I just have sons. So it
True.
is what it
True.
is. Hey,
Yeah. Hey, we're lucky.
we are lucky. You have two sons. I have two sons.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we lucked out. I do not envy the fathers of daughters. So more power
Yeah.
to you, gentlemen. All right.
Yeah.
So the Knicks win. Eric's in a good mood. Let's talk about some shit I don't care about.
Oh, let's do it.
The Oklahoma City Thunder and the Minnesota Timberwolves. Now, I can't say that I totally don't care about this series because, as you know, in the offseason, Carl Anthony Towns came to New York for Julius Randle and Dante DiVincenzo. We're now on the Minnesota Timberwolves, and they are in the Western Conference Finals, and I have a small rooting interest for them for a couple of reasons. One, former Knicks. Once a Knick, always a Knick. Two, there is a lot of storytelling if the T-Wolves and the Knicks make the finals.
This is true.
That
This
is
is
some
true.
that is some NBA scripted shit that I would
Yeah.
that I would absolutely buy into. How about you?
Yeah, I'm with you. But I don't think that would happen. That would be the better story. I do think that
I
would
don't.
be, and it'd be a little more physical. Yeah, if the NBA writers, but the way that OKC's playing, they did have a
Okay.
letdown game 3. But one thing, they are
That
to
that
me,
was that was more than a letdown, Jay.
yeah.
That
But listen,
was
this is my comparison. I look at them as like your son's going out with his friends, right? My son's gonna go out with his buddies. I feel like the OKC is that like responsible friend where you know what? He ain't gonna fucking he's not gonna fuck up. He's gonna actually have his head on together. And they've been showing that yeah, they may have that slip up. So last game, they were at the end of the year party, got a little dicey. Maybe they fell off. But I do see them is that I don't see that as like I see their maturity is got a higher ceiling than Minnesota, to be honest with you. And I think that the rest of that, they're going to get their shit back together. They're
that's
going to go to the finals, to me.
that's true. But here's the thing. Championship teams can't lose by 40 points. That was
Yeah.
not a basketball game that we witnessed in game 3. That was awful. Awful. And like to be that shook, there's your halfway crook right there. Like they're
I don't
not
know.
dude, like I listen, I think the Oklahoma City Thunder is the best basketball team in this year's NBA season. But the fact that they lost by 40 points to a team that was 19 games behind them is
Yeah.
laughable. Like I cannot imagine
They're
being
still
like the
pros,
best
dude.
team with the MVP in Shea Gilgeous-Alexander and losing by 40 points. That's not pro. That's like
That's deer
losing
in
by
the
40.
headlights first round. I mean, they were back at Minnesota, right? They had Minnesota
Dude,
had to
it's
they had to man up.
it's not like Minnesota is the Mecca. Like it's
No, but
just where Prince is from. Like
hey,
that's it.
they definitely got stomped. Now I'd be interested to see game 3 if it's a close game and whatnot, and then I mean, I guess it'd still be interesting, just like the Knicks. Anything could happen if it became 2-2. But I don't think the OKC is going to come out again like that. They've seemed to do this once every few, didn't we have this one in the first round? They lost a couple games. It was like they didn't look so
Yeah,
hot
they
to
didn't look
trot.
so hot.
And then they come back, turn it around. I mean, for them too, that was a big drag, and you had to take down Denver. That was it wasn't going to be a team, an easy just layover team. It had to go 7.
Right.
So I think that, and then they come out and they win the first 2. They're a little cocky. That young Tom Cruise type shit coming out, Top Gun, like slow. Whoop, they got checked.
Kick the
So
tires and light the fires.
yeah, and I feel like when they come back in game 4, I don't think it's going to be the same outcome. I think they're going to get back to their protocol. They had a night out. They got loose. They Dennis Rodman it, but they're going to return. And I don't know. The Wolves are, I mean, Rudy Yogurt is just, that guy is walking around just hoping to run into an accident to have a great game. Of course, against my Lakers, he decided to show up. But again, typical fashion, that's probably basketball guys punishing me, but he's still back to being trash. Um,
He had
so
7 rebounds in that game. 7.
I mean, there's like this is what I don't. That size,
Yeah, that's
it like you don't need a play called for you. You don't need shit to go out there. And just your motor itself at that size and his ability, he's not like he's completely just immovable. The guy could kind of move a little bit for his size. Like, there's no reason why you can't have 12 and 10 as a baseline every game. I don't know.
he's
And a
like
couple blocks.
what Rudy Gogurt reminds me of is like a kid that like grew beyond their age, like was just like they're 7 feet tall at 12 years old. They're still trying to get used to their body. And here we
Yeah.
have, and I don't know how old he is, but full grown adult Rudy Gobert, like still moving around like he doesn't know how to move his body. And I like,
He's stuck in
would,
tar. What the
yeah,
hell's going
would
on?
airballing layups is not something acceptable for a 7 foot man in the Professional Basketball Association of the
This is
National.
true. Basketball Coalition. I'm with you. It's fucking
Yeah,
ridiculous.
it's stupid. And that team, his team, blew out
Yeah.
OKC by 40 points. What do you think
But
went wrong with OKC in that game? Like, I have some thoughts, but I want to hear you.
I mean, I think that like Julius Randle was having a great playoff. He had a little dudder, I think, game two. I feel like it's gut check time, and some of these dudes are not pushovers, or some teams that are pushovers, they're just going to be like, fuck it, we didn't win, and on this push. I don't see Julius Randle like that. I don't see Ant-Man like that. That's why I see that maybe that comeback was more of a, their back was against the wall. They had to respond. So like, it's one of those things. Like, yeah, they're gonna respond. I mean, well, they did respond, right? They got off the mat. They responded. They actually judo chopped OKC and gave him a nice little neck thing. But like, that could be where, let's say that they still lose in 5 or 6, and you're like, yeah, hey, they showed some life, but like overall, they didn't really, they weren't driving this series. It was mostly OKC. Or it's the flip side where you're like, that turned everything around, and then it became a series where it was really more evenly competitive. But just based, I don't know. I just don't see that from Minnesota. I don't think that they're ready to take that leap to like get to the finals yet. And I feel like that OKC just again deeper, and that some of those guys like Caruso. You saw what he did at Denver. Game
Yeah,
7, he's guarding Jokic. A guy could do all these different things. So it's like those.
great
I don't know.
defensive energy from that guy.
Yeah, I just trust that OKC's group. They're 9. You know, they're 9, could be 10 deep. I just trust that style and the way that they've been playing in their whole year. Yeah, they definitely. Obviously, you don't want to get, but I think a lot of these NBA guys now get stomped by 20 or
Yep.
30, and it's like I don't think it holds as much as it did. Like for us growing up, like if you lost by 20, you felt like, damn, we got blown out. We lost by 20. That felt like you got your ass kicked, and we took pride in that. Like I don't remember ever getting beat more than by 20 points ever. Like even if the team was way way better, we never. It was just I
Maybe
don't know.
maybe that's an issue with this league. Like they look at
Or
a
it could
20
be also
point
because of
deficit.
you know.
They look at a 20-point deficit and then the L, and they're like, oh well. And it's like, you really need to take that serious. Like Kobe, God rest his soul, would not accept that shit from
Oh
any
no,
one of these guys,
no,
especially Julius Randle.
no, and
Um,
that's why I feel like yeah,
yeah,
That's why I
like
think he's got the dog in him.
he does. He does. He was
Yeah,
plus 39 in that game. I mean, everybody was like plus 30
yeah,
something just because they won by, but um,
yeah.
Shea shot 4 of 13 from the field, was a minus 32, only 14 points the entire game. Coach took him
What
in the
is
third quarter and didn't even play him in the fourth. He had already conceded.
yeah? They punted at that point, but what is excuse me, DiVincenzo averaging for the series?
Man, you're asking me all these stats that I don't know.
Because I feel like for them to overcome OKC, he's got to be like a hot hand. He's got to be coming off the bench and having that like instant impact every game. They need that as that team. They need. I like that they have Mike Connolly as kind of their veteran, keep
Okay.
the ship going straight kind of thing. And then there's also Jaden McDaniels, who's Man, crazy length, huge upside. You just want to see a little more. I think he would have to have more of that consistency of the game like he played. What the first two games against the Lakers, he was killing. Second round, he did great. So he's like, but then he'll fall off and have a game where he's got a bunch of fouls and then doesn't shoot, doesn't score as much. So that's why I just feel like OKC's those guys who have to play their steady roles. To me, I feel like they'll do that more. But arguably, no, I mean, Minnesota's got a lot of talent too, but
They do.
it's just not. It's that consistency part for me. But I do see Julius Randle took a gigantic leap this playoffs, and he's been playing the best overall for their team. And
Yes.
I don't know if Ant is hurt or just a collection of these little tweaks and stuff, but
Yeah,
he's got a
so his 3-point shot, like he hit the most 3-pointers of anybody this
Yeah.
season.
Yeah.
And this series, he's just been shooting breaks, with the exception of this last game. He finally found his shot, and he
I
started.
think that's what OKC would prefer, right? It's like, hey, we'll live and die with him shooting threes instead of him using that skill he has to get to the basket and just elevate.
Well, I think OKC's approach is Ant is going to get his, and
Yeah.
there's not a whole lot we could do about that. He's probably going to have a good game every time out, most of the time. They got to stop the other guys. They got to make sure Julius Randle doesn't get hot like he did in this last game. This last game, he was 9 of 15, 2 of 5 from 3, hit all 4 of his free throws, 24 points plus 38 in the game. Like he
Wow.
was
Yeah.
on point. By the way, I did do some quick math, and Dante DiVincenzo averaging 7.6 points a game series. So
That's not going to do it. Yeah, that's not going to do it. He needs to be pushing 12 to 15 off the bench.
Yeah,
I mean,
he needs to be their spark guy.
yeah, for sure.
But as of now, Alexander Walker is that for them, I should say. Naz Reid is that for them.
I think Alexander Walker is he starting with? He's not starting. Is he? Because Connolly's starting.
Connolly, Edwards, Gobert, McDaniels, and Randall. There's your starting five.
I start Alexander Walker
Over who? Connolly?
Oh yeah, I bring Connolly off the bench with DiVincenzo. Then his job could be to be like, hey, obviously he's running the offense and whatnot, but like, hey, make sure DiVincenzo's getting good looks while that second unit's in.
Yeah, I mean, how old is Mike Connolly? He's
35?
37? Yeah, he's 37 years old.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I get that he's a veteran presence, but like,
he can come off the bench.
He could come off the bench. I think you're right. They need to give Alexander Walker some time. That's Shai's cousin. They said that during the broadcast. I didn't realize it.
Yeah, I think he's up for. He might be a free agent this summer. Yeah, I like his game. I mean, he's not as. That jump shot is. He's got a shot, but I don't know. I like his upside. Definitely like his upside. I think he should be starting. And
I think it's preposterous that Mike Connolly is starting in the Western Conference Finals, and Joe Ingles can't get a damn minute.
Oh man,
not 1 minute.
Joe probably has 0 kneecaps.
There's cartilage. No cartilage whatsoever.
No, he was a good player though, dude. When he was he was steady dude. That sucks. You know who doesn't get any love from back in the day? I was on the good old interwebs, and
love them interwebs.
We had I saw a video of Tom Chambers.
Oh, dude.
Bro, he scored 20,000 points in 9 years or something.
Tom Chambers was a fucking stud.
They were talking about him playing these days with not being able to be touched and how he would front.
He would beat the shit out of everybody.
Jab step. Man, I didn't understand. I didn't really put it. It really rang a bell. Like, damn, 20,000 points. I think Mario sent me a thing on it, and I was like, I was sleeping on Tom Chambers.
Dude,
I was sleeping.
I have no understanding as to why Tom Chambers isn't in the Basketball Hall of Fame right now.
Yeah.
Like, he has been eligible for years.
Yeah.
And they haven't voted him in. Like, what is Was he caught gambling like Pete Rose did with baseball?
No,
Like,
I think
why
I
is
think
he
that
in the hall?
I think that like, and this is a problem with how we compare and judge like basketball players and other people to other people.
Mhm.
Um, just as looking at it like from the basketball lens, and you see, first of all, to score 20,000 points, I mean, for his career, and I think he played 11 seasons. I don't think he played more than 11 seasons. That's crazy in itself. And no, he might not have a championship. He might not have maybe he wasn't, he averaged in the 20s, 24 a game or something like that. But maybe he wasn't, he was that third or fourth guy for 5 or 6 years, 7 years on the scoring list, which is still fucking incredible. Like, hey, you're in the top 10 of scoring 9 out of the 10 years you played that's kind of badass. But the public and all these wacko fans are like, whatever. He didn't fucking win it all. He's not the top. But it's like, bro, I don't know. I hate the comparison. It's a thief of joy, man. Because
Okay.
that dude,
Let me give you some
yeah,
Tom Chambers stats.
bust down
Yeah.
the Tom numbers.
6'10",
Fuck. With a handle.
220 pounds with handles.
Ooh.
1,007 games played in the National Basketball Associates. 18.1 career points a game. 6.1 rebounds a game. 47% from the field, 30 from three, 80 from the free throw line. He was a stud. He was an all-star 1, 2, 3, 4 times.
Okay.
Was in the MVP race, but not like really. He was,
Yeah.
He was
but
in
top
9,
five guys.
no,
Yeah.
top 10. He was 9
Okay.
in 89, and then he was 8th in 90 when he was
And what
playing
was
for
his whole
Phoenix.
career like from what year to what year?
81,
Did he-
82 to
Okay.
97, 98.
Bro.
So he played
This-
he played a good amount
He
of
played
time
in the
in this
most
league.
talented pool, arguably. If we did our top 75 guys list, they're coming from that 80 to 90s, that 20-year range, right? How many, whatever. It was obviously super competitive time in basketball. Magic, Jordan, Bert, all the dream team. What the fuck? All these dudes. But it's guys like him, guys like Drazen Petrovic, who pros would tell you, that dude was another guy who was a fucking absolute killer. And he didn't have to win. Like he had that's a guy too that you would be like, that guy should be in the hall. It shouldn't be a question based on basketball, not necessarily. I guess you have to do it all off accomplishment. I don't know nowadays, but like that
He
dude,
accomplished a
eye
hell of a
test.
lot. Eye test passed with flying colors.
Yeah,
Flying
and
colors.
Tom too. Like to be a guy who's averaging 18 in that generation, that time, and for your peers to be like, yeah, that dude was a fucking beast. Like he was a handful.
Get this.
Yeah.
The lowest amount of games he's ever played is 66.
Damn. So he was
in today's league, you have to get 65. You have to play 65 games in order to be up for any kind of awards.
Yeah.
So,
he wouldn't have missed.
He wouldn't have missed a single year. He played 81, 79, 82, 81, 66, 82, 82, 81, 81, 76, 69, 73, 80, 81. And then he and get this, in 95, 96, he went and played in another pro league. And then in 96, 97, he came back for Charlotte and then played his last, he played one game for Philly in 1998.
Give me my money.
Yep.
You have to leave the league and come back. Dude. Yeah, well, shout out Tom Chambers, Drazen Petrovic. There's some other dudes in there who are, I just hate that guys like, their stories aren't told or they're overlooked or it's like they're just a whatever and you're like, nah, man.
No.
These dudes could fucking play.
Tom Chambers was a certified stud in this league. 5 years in Seattle, 5 years in Phoenix. He was averaging over 20 a game. For 10 years, a decade, averaging over 20 a game. And flying over Mark Jackson and getting one of the most memorable and replayable dunks in the history of the league. Seriously, it looked like he was gliding.
Yes. That's happened. Have you ever had that before? where you bump somebody in the game and you literally think that it like boosted, even if it's an inch or 2 inches, that you feel like, oh my God, that little, some sort of scientific reaction of, it's like two
Kinetic
meteors in the
energy.
middle, something weird, but like you
Yeah.
hit and then you feel like you go higher.
Yep. Have been there. Not lately, because my 260-pound ass is staying close to the ground.
Got to bully
But
the
yeah,
paint.
I remember being 100 pounds lighter. But yeah, here is my case for Tom Chambers in the Hall of Fame. Fucking Tom Chambers deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. End of story. Like, that's it.
I love it. Sign him up. Get his
Just
ass in.
put him on the ballot and just punch the ticket.
Tom for the Hall.
Tom Hall.
Tom Hall, baby. It's your new name.
All right. What else we got to go over? What have you been up to, man? We haven't had a pod in a while. What have you been doing?
I've been working. Working and coaching.
Working and coaching. How's
yeah.
coaching? Tell me about that.
Oh, it's been great. Practices, there's always a different feel for games, and you're trying to get kids to buy in that, I know practice isn't as hype, but like that's where you get the work in. So we've been really trying to push that, like, hey, you're here, get this time in. I'm trying to, for me personally, it's just showing them little things that I noticed during games that they need to work on, and it's always the same. It's always the same stuff. It's always the same message: dribbling with your head up, literally seeing the floor all times. I got some kids too who have handles, but when they're doing a combo, they're looking down, and you're like, dude, eyes up. It opens up a whole different world. I'm like, as a defender, if I have to look at a guy and his eyes are up, I'm like, oh shit, he can go anywhere. He could do anything. When there's a guy staring at the ground, I'm like, cool. I know where this guy's going. He's looking and telling me, So, but it's cool too to see them when they're playing. We had playoffs last week, and like my guys had 12 points, 14 points first half. We couldn't hit a three to save our life. And it's like, hey, stick to it. Keep doing it. You're getting good shots. We're just not hitting them. It's basketball, right? That happens. But like these kids don't have that experience or that, those many games. So it's like, I got to make sure that I keep that, like, hey, I tell them goldfish. I thought that the term goldfish, I thought that they had like the shortest memory ever. So every time somebody would mess up, I'm like, goldfish, like that mentality of like, flush it. We're on the next play already. It's over. Let's not dwell. And these dudes, to their credit, like stuck to it and ended up coming back. They were down, ended up coming back, and they won. They got to go to the playoff, the finals, which unfortunately I'm missing because Gio's graduating. But that's much more important. Shout out to Gio graduating.
She's gonna get that lawyer money now. Yay!
Well, not yet.
Let's have her.
Soon.
Let's have her
We gotta
finance
pass
the
the bar.
podcast.
We gotta
Finance
pass
the
the bar
podcast.
first.
We'll have her sponsor it. Be
Yeah.
Gio Waters, attorney at law. Call 888 Waterfall. I don't know. Something.
Hey, once we pass the bar, look at like I'm taking it with it. Yeah. Once we pass the bar, things will,
What's the firm's name going to be? Waters and Waters?
Yeah. Hey, Waters and Sons.
Waters and Sons?
She's the Waters, and then the Son. I'll just hop on. Well, hopefully, because I look at some of the stuff that she's looking at, and it's like, bro.
Yeah.
You got to just move into the garage and just ignore us and the kids, Jeez. But yeah,
Ironically, you're the one in the garage right now. Just
this is true.
Taking up space, taking up real estate, earning some real money, doing a podcast with your high school buddy. That's great.
This is my space. This is my space.
MySpace.com.
Literally my space.
So real quick, remember we used to do the hot takes, and picking out a hot take from the week, and it always just somehow used to be Gilbert Arenas every single time.
You have another one?
I have another one, and it's not Gilbert.
Who is it?
Our good friend Sir Charles Barkley.
Oh, no, he's a fountain of nonsense.
Well, not as much nonsense as say Kendrick Perkins. Because he is Mount nonsense.
Yeah,
but
we're screaming A.
Charles, but yeah, screaming A. I mean, At least he's a Knicks fan, but that's all I really got to say about it. But like Charles, I usually enjoy. Like he's legitimately entertaining. I enjoy watching inside the NBA. Um, I've enjoyed their coverage of the playoffs this year. But this is what he said at half. Now, this game is pretty much over. This is a wrap because the Knicks can't play fast and beat the Pacers. They're down 13, so they got to play fast. They're going to get run out this damn building. And what do you know? The Knicks played hard, played fast, played aggressively, and walked out the damn building. So,
Chuck,
Chuck, you
where
have
you
some of
at?
the hottest takes, sir. Maybe reel
He
that
get
back a little bit.
yeah. He at least wait till like if you're gonna make the definitive, oh man, they're done and just trash them, whatever team that is, whatever game that is, bro. At least wait till it's like, Chick Hearn puts it in the fridge.
Yeah, at
Why
least
is
till we
he?
get to 100. Like this guy was calling game at halftime after the Knicks went on a 10-0 run.
Yeah, you got no man. Especially like we just said with today's NBA, sometimes too a 20. Maybe that's why guys are so nonchalant because like 20-point lead is literally you could go on a run in 3 to 4 minutes and go on a 15-0 run and come back in the
Yeah.
game. But like, and if Chuck, if you come on, you're gonna talk shit, dude. Time,
But
woosah, woosah.
uh,
Everybody gets so excited, and then, oh man, crash and burn.
you know I hate to take another one here. No, actually, I don't hate. I enjoy taking another one here, but another knucklehead take of the week.
Do
Um,
it.
it wasn't even a take. It's more just a vibe, as the kids say.
Got it.
Reg, Reggie Miller.
Yeah,
Again,
that
a
he's a homer.
broadcaster, yes, absolutely an indie homer. Mind you, I just like Chuck, I've enjoyed his broadcast and his play-by-play, and he usually calls a spade, and I
Yeah.
appreciate that as like an NBA fan. But in this series, he
Mm,
has made every excuse for Indiana and
yeah.
just talk down the Knicks every opportunity he gets. I bet you he has a text chain with Spike Lee where he's talking all
Oh,
types of mad shit. Like
dude, he's
it's
gassing
bad.
Halliburton too.
Oh
He's
yeah.
definitely put a battery in his back.
Basically, Halliburton is Urkel Darth Vader and Reggie Miller is skinny ass Emperor Palpatine.
I don't know
And
that
he's like
Palpatine guy.
he's basically
Picture.
saying, good, no,
Ugh.
yeah, no,
Wow.
yeah, yeah. That's my Emperor
Wow.
Palpatine impersonation.
Whoa.
I'm
Right there.
available for voiceovers if anyone needs. Just call 1-800 Waterfall.
We, we got a lot of stakes when you get on that phone call. 1 through 9 is all filled up. Got a lot of shit going on.
You need
Pay
voiceover?
attention.
Press 1. You need a
Yeah.
lawyer? Press 2. You need a lawyer?
Press 3.
You
We
need a
got
kid? You
everything.
need somebody to coach your kid's basketball team? Press 3. Like, yeah, we cover it all here at Waters and Sons and Fawns.
Inv- the logo.
Staches and Glasses Incorporated.
Big umbrellas.
Big, 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 big. Okay, man. I think we've wasted everybody else's time. Um, anybody you want to shout out? Anybody you want to give dap to on the pod this week?
Yeah, my neighbor, 98. She passed. We had her funeral Saturday, so yesterday. Um, yeah, man, really full circle moment seeing like because I've known this lady like the last 15, 20 years, so like in her 80s till now. She died at 98. Um, so being able to see what she did in her life, like we heard stories and just to tell you how like strong this lady was, like she was going to the bathroom maybe a couple years ago. She was in her 90s. She fell, broke her arm. Instead of like life alerting it and calling the lady who helps, or even calling my wife next door, who we've told her when this stuff goes down, hit us up. Nah, she army crawled it back to her room, called it a night, like waited till the next morning, waited till her lady came to see her. So like this lady was like still wired as like the strongest type of woman, like to literally witness. You're like, she wouldn't take the help and it was right there. She was like, nah, I'm not. I don't need this extra. I'm a good soldier. I got you. We're good. We'll wait till help comes. And it was kind of amazing to see her young self, young pictures of her in her 30s, 40s, and you're like, she was part of brochures for the Navy. She was an air traffic control lady. She did all this like
Wow.
woman stuff that regular women weren't doing in the 50s and 60s, and worked at Lockheed forever. So like, I knew she was like a bad, excuse my French, she was a bad bitch, in a good way. And like, it was cool to get to see that. So this weekend was kind of like the whole culmination, and we got to the servicemen came out and they did the I forgot the exact name, but it was like the song of when you put a soldier down. So it was pretty interesting to see like the
Taps.
full circle moment.
It's
Yeah,
taps. Yes.
yeah. That and so
Yeah.
yeah, it was intense. So it was yeah, it was kind of cool that like I feel like more stories like hers need to kind of be out there. Like we hear the same hero women stories, of like there's always the Amelia Earharts and stuff like that, but you're like, this lady was also doing that shit on the front lines of life. Also I have a Aunt Dorothy who's like 102, and she was helped building railroads, and she was working for that, and she was another one of these women who are like, damn. So it's nice to see and highlight a story of like it wasn't just a couple of women who were like badasses, there's like a lot of these women who were doing shit that was just should be recognized. So wanted to recognize her.
What was your neighbor's name?
Pauline.
Pauline. Shout out to
Dude.
Pauline. Rest in peace. Rest in paradise.
Pauline was there was a time when the sun went down early, and she has like these glass windows you could walk by, and she's walking by, and mind you, her light is it's weird. It's like a room that's built on the front porch, so her light's like inside. You walk out, and I bring up my phone, I put the little flashlight. I was like, Pauline, you need some help? Man, she stopped dead in her tracks, looked out the window. She was like, nah. Like, I'm good, motherfucker. I'm fine. She
Fuck
kept
off.
walking. Yeah. It really felt like she was like, fool, I don't need no goddamn help. I'm fine. You see me out here. But mind you, the only thing I could
Fuck
see,
you
because
gonna do, Waters?
she's walking like this, She was hunched over at this time. She's 95, bro. Like, you just see the puff of her little hair bouncing across the little window. And when I saw it stop, it veered over and looked at me, and she looked through the window like, no, I'm fucking, everything is fine, man. And go back to your house. Yeah, fuck out of here. Get out of here. But yeah, shout out to Pauline, man. She was dope. And yeah, I'm glad that we got to like, be there at the end for her. It's kind of cool.
That's dope. Condolences.
Yes.
All right. So we're gonna wrap this up, and anywhere people can follow you on social media.
Just water _ t-shirts. We got it's just a plethora of awesome visuals and
By
t-shirts.
the way, did you like my Karl Anthony Towns shirt?
Yes. Carl. You and the big Carl. We need an alley cat Carl, and I'm hoping to see it. I hope that character on
Alley Cat.
Oh, we don't
Carl
have Sesame Street
would be
anymore.
great.
Never mind. Yeah, we don't have that. We don't have
No,
Sesame
Netflix
Street
picked
anymore.
them up. Netflix picked them up, so we're good.
Cool. Hope they're giving out free.
Sunny days going on
Back.
Netflix today. All right. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. Follow Staches Glasses Pod on all of your favorite social media canales. We'll see you the next time we do this, probably next week, because I told myself we're going to do this regularly. And you know what? Justin is down. So I appreciate this, man. Stay classy, Stache Gang. See you next time.